Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to see you. Keith, back again. Thursday. It is August 1st, just like that. Man, did we breeze through time? Gosh, it seems like a couple weeks ago, it was June or May or April or halving. It was halving. And now look, fast forward, here we are, way ahead in time. Man, it's been a wild ride, but I'm glad I'm here with all y'all. So let's not waste a ton of time saying hello. Just glad to see all you guys. Welcome back to Crypto After Dark. Let's get into the stream. So if you have never been here before, please go hit like. It costs nothing. It's free to hit like over here. While you're there, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. We're over 10,000. We're on our way to 20,000, right? And make sure you don't miss anything by hitting the notification bell. So you get everything, every single live stream, every single video we share, every single post I make, you'll be notified of it. That way you don't miss anything. Everything we do here is to help people make money, the most money we possibly can. We like to try to do our best. Now, we're not perfect. We're just normal people like everyone else. But this is the grown-up hours and the grown-up channel. So, hey, let's keep it real and be grown-ups about it, shall we? Shall. And we shall. Let me get a drink first because I've been coughing. Real quick, y'all, can you hear the background music? Because I've been having an issue where the background music doesn't play correctly. And I don't know what's going on. So if it doesn't play, that's fine. I'm going to keep working on it. Not that big a deal. But it was like a low-key, like jazz in the background, which I kind of liked. Just, like a little bit of elevator music. You know what I'm saying? So, so first things first. And by the way, everyone, please feel free to say hi over in the chat. I'm glad to have all you here. We encourage everyone here to talk, ask questions, be present, and don't just sit back and watch, all right? You can, don't get me wrong. It's your life. You can do what you want. But the more interaction you have, the more personal it is, and the more you want to do it, and the more you work for it. You work forward towards it, so to speak. So, why not? Okay, y'all don't hear nothing. I don't know what's going on, man. I'll keep tinkering around with it. I don't know, dude. It's weird because it was working. Wonder if I can do a little something real fast. Background jazz. Oh. Now. I tried something different there. Tell me if y'all can hear it. I can't hear it. Maybe y'all can. I think I maybe clicked the wrong thing. So, I got Bitcoin pulled up here first. And if it's too loud, let me know. I can turn it down. And maybe it works now. I don't know. I was over there clicking some stuff. Good to see you, Crafty. So I'll say hey to everyone in a second. Let me get to cracking on things. This is the Bitcoin overall monthly chart for this run. Okay. A lot of people think you can't hear it now. Sweet. I just had the wrong thing. Clicked. No worries. So this is Bitcoin for this run. We've been having this price action since the beginning of 2023. We've rode this up and down a few different times. I flipped in and out of a few different coins to increase my overall holding, which I managed to do. By swinging it back and forth, I think I got a little bit over 35% extra by bouncing back and forth a little bit when I could. Nonetheless, things are still fine here, and let me try to explain this, okay? You can see the Fibonacci retracement that I've got up here, and I'm going to highlight a few areas first. We talked about this a little bit last time, and we've talked about it throughout the last couple of weeks over in the Discord. If you're not there, right there on the bottom, wap.com/team786 right here at the bottom. It's real easy to use, wap.com/team786. A couple people left, so there's a few spots open. Jump in there and get your piece. It's a free month up front. What's not to want? I mean, it's free for a month. If you don't like it, you can leave. Like the other people did. It's fine. So I want to highlight this Sniper's Alley area right here between 50,000 and 58,000 roughly. Okay. We're still over this area. As you see, it continues to just kind of bounce around on top of it. Let me zoom in here so you can see it a little bit better. It's really just the 58,000 area. But that zone is important. That Sniper's Alley, that's where we get the 786 Assassin's name from, that spot, okay? And as you see, all these wicks indicate it just doesn't want to fail that zone. That, to me, sets a baseline, all right? That baseline creates a bit of support, a bit of place for this thing to rest its head upon and think about what it wants to do. We just closed the monthly yesterday and started a new monthly today. Very good. Super tickled about that. Last month's candle was ugly at one point. This thing was all the way down in here. It really dug its knife into Sniper's Alley to see if it could cut through it, and it just didn't do it. In fact, it closed back in a big, humongous hammer candle. Now, if you look closely here, this thing was building a bit of a wedge and tried to fail it. It didn't make it. It tried to fail and didn't make it. Lovely. You could also say this thing's in a bit of a channel through here and just kind of churning away, working its way through the channel, trying to break, but it can't just yet. This thing already trying to throw ads up. It's been 8 minutes. It's crazy. I turned it off just now. What am I make, like 15 cents? Anyway, the channel continues to churn to the right, and it's not super upsetting to me that it's kind of downward and to the right. And let me show you why. Back over here, my next point of contention is all this old support from 2021 is holding up pretty darn well, isn't it? This support, if I draw a box for you, and I drag that over there, hey, look, all this red support zone is exactly where these candles are bouncing on top of currently. This is good. What this tells me is this thing doesn't want to surrender. It wants to hold up here and not fail. Lovely. As long as it continues to hold up here and not fail, this leads me forward to a path to think that we're going to continue to be bullish. In fact, there's a bit of a pattern playing out here that's just wonderful. And that is a cup and handle. What is a cup and handle? Well, imagine a teacup. Now you have the teacup that kind of looks like this, and on the end of that teacup, you have a handle that sits over on the side. So it's this shape with the handle, right? As you see, here's that shape and the handle. And once that handle forms out, we tend to get a bullish breakout on top of that. So there's our cup forming a bit of a handle. And when this cracks, it's going to run. Only needs a little bit of time. It's interesting to me that this is playing out this way because we've seen this play out this way in past cycles, but a little more ugly, so to speak. Or it was just a straight up parabolic run that never stopped. As we've gone through time and things have gotten older, we've seen far, far less of the parabola and more of a controlled sideways and up price action, a lot like equities that we have every day. Now that Bitcoin is kind of the big dog and ETFs are available, we've seen price action act a little bit more behaved, you know. I kind of think it's been a little bit more behaved, so to speak. So it's actually pretty cool that it's playing out this way. We just need to give it some more time. How much farther back should it pull on a cup and handle? Well, the idea is 30%-ish, and that's kind of what we've done roughly. If you count the wicks, we've done about 30% overall, which is good. That tells me that it's making a good solid base still, and it hasn't failed. And so long as it's making a good solid base and hasn't failed, much ado about nothing. Now, if I go down to the weekly, obviously there's a little bit of chink in the armor here. This thing flat out does not want to break out. You can see that, right? Until this breaks out, we're waiting on flowers to bloom. I don't know how else to put it. You know what I mean? Every time it looks like it wants to break out, it kind of slows down a little bit. Now, the thing is, please understand that it's just now the first of the month. We almost always get volatility like this at the first of the month and at the end of the month, especially with the government tickling the idea of cutting rates, which increases spending. And when you increase spending, what do you spend your money on? Well, people with knowledge spend it on investments. What kind of investments? Well, maybe take a risk. It's up to you to figure out what exactly people would buy. You know what I buy. So, hey, If you cut rates and put more money on the market, that money is going to get spent. That's the best way to think about it. And what are they going to spend it on? All right, stuff. Most of the time stuff, but a lot of times too, that money gets spent on investments. Crypto is blooming and everyone's watching it happen. ETFs available. Come on. You got to be able to read the writing on the wall there. Now, nothing's happened yet. That's why the thumbnail of the title was what it was, right? I know the price action's boring, that this thing just sitting along, chop, 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 and is yet to really break out. Like, this sucks. I get it. Trust me, I'm here with you. I'm up a lot one day and I'm down the next week. And then I'm up the next week and I'm down. And then I'm down the next week and then I'm up. I get it. It's part of the game. I'm not doing a bunch of leverage trades. Everything I do is open in the Discord. Every single trade I make, every single thing I do with my money is available for everyone to look at in the Discord under my channel where it says Keith's Trades Only. You can see it right there and it tells you everything I do, right? Nothing to do lately except watch and wait. So I don't have much transactions happening. Things will pick up big time soon, just not yet. We'll get a little bit deeper on this, but I want to go say hey to everyone real fast. So let's start at the top. Brown Poteet, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. 67K channel chop. I fully agree. You know what? It would be really cool if I could get the pop out to work. I don't know if I can, but no, it won't work. I don't know how to get the pop out to work after I've already got it pulled up. So I can't get the comments on here. Maybe I can. Let me see. Let's see. Pop out. Hey, there we go. There's everybody. All right, cool. So let's see. Crypto Chief, good to see you, brother. Crypto Tama, my cousin, good to see you, homie. Other Rob, what's up, my guy? The only Rob I think we care to see on here. Colo, how are you? Good to see you. Distinctive Shine. Brian W, come on, BTC. I know, right? Come on, dude. We're ruining the party. Jeff Thomas, what's up? Brian W. Jeremy D, what's up, Jeremy D? Good to see you. Burner, Cody Kinsel. Good to see you, my friend. Phonetic Duck, good to see you, old timer. CL, what's up, brother? Cheese, my guy. Skipping ads. Andrew Hynasku, good to see you, my friend. We did get the background music working. Jag, how are you? He's working on some Forex stuff in the background. I'm excited about it. I don't say a lot about it, but I'm excited about it. Crafty One, good to see you again. Jacob Irwin, how are you? Good new name. I'm glad to see you, brother. Thank you for saying hey. Judy, how are you, ma'am? We'll talk business later. I know you had some business questions. It's a very long-winded answer. We can talk about it in the Zoom one night once we get to that point. It's going to take a little bit to get to that point. We're not there yet. But boy, I'm telling you what, it's important. So we will talk about it, I promise. Peter Navarro, how are you? Good to see you, Pete. The right Pete, because we have some crappy Petes that show up here every once in a while and try to start crap. Slutty Roo, how are you? Good to see you. I'll see you on Zoom later. Cycling Cotton, Dev, thank you for all you do. Thank you for being here. I can't do it without everybody, okay? Moody's LLC, watching from Oklahoma. Let's go, dude. Haven't been out to Oklahoma since we went to Outlaw Armageddon 5 years ago this time because my buddy Dustin texted me and he was like, hey, man, we were in Oklahoma this time last year, 5 years ago. And we've been talking about coming back since, but we never made it. Frumpo, how are you? Legal Assassin, good to see you. JH, BTC went up again October, November, last 2 cycles. Agreed, it did. But it was more later in November than October. And then in October, at the end of the cycle, we did get a big run. But I think that's next year in October. We'll see. But I am hopeful of exactly what you're talking about. Oh, she bought a watch. Let's go. We'll talk about that. Looks like a bull flag on the weekly. I would agree. It does look like a bull flag on the week. Nashville, what's up, what's up, bullish CEO, brother? Nashville sounds awesome. I need to come out there and hang out sometime. D Hunt from Colorado, bro. Let's go. How high are you right now? Oh, gosh. All right, let me put this back over here. And then we will get back to what we was doing. Now, how do I? There we go. I just had to hit the right button. I'm an idiot. So, Bitcoin Daily. Let's look at this for a moment. Now, yesterday that we just closed a few hours ago was looking a little ominous, wasn't it? This ugly candle right here that's green now, boy, that was a big red candle. We were all watching it. We were watching it down to the 5-minute chart as it was happening, and I was like, yeet, as it was as it was falling on its face. Thing is, before the end of the day, she turned the corner and came back. Now, I want to highlight a couple things here, right? First, the Ichimoku cloud. What is the Ichimoku cloud? Well, Ichimoku cloud is an old school indicator that you can use a lot of different ways. I'll tell you how we use it. It's 4 out of 4 check marks or 4 out of 4 red X's. What do we get check marks for? We get check marks for a few separate different things. Do we have the candles over top of the Ichimoku cloud? And the Ichimoku cloud is this thing in the background right here. This green, then red, then green. That's the Ichimoku cloud. Is the price over it? It is. So it gets a green check mark. All right, next. Do we have a green cloud on the end? You can do this in any order you want, but I'm going to highlight all 4. Is the cloud on the end green or is it red? And as you see here, it's very much green. Check mark. That's 2. Next, the lag line, which is the white line in the back here. It's actually a different color. I changed it to white because it stands out to me. But you can change it in the settings. That white line, is it above the candles or below the candles? And as you can see, it's very much above still. That gets a check mark. Last but not least is the blue line, which is the conversion line, over top of the red line, which is the base line. Blue is the base. I'm sorry. Blue is conversion, red is base. You want blue over red for a bullish signal. It is. You still have 4 out of 4 check marks here on the Ichimoku cloud. So any short-term down is still much ado about nothing. When would we start to worry here? Well, once we see this lag line run into these candles right here, that's our first sign that we may need to scale out. The next sign would be if this blue line crosses down through the red, if this turns red on the end, or if we see the price sneak into this red cloud down here. Now, as you see, there's a big void right here where the cloud kind of dips down. And look where that price went to. It went right into that void and is kind of saddled down, sitting on it. Looked like it was going to fail the cloud, but all it really did was bounce. So far, so good. This isn't bad. This is actually good that it did this. She's holding the line, right? It could continue to do this sideways crap all through here and hold the line. That would actually be okay. Now, obviously, it wouldn't bode well for my thought of August up, which I'll show you in a moment, but that is one scenario. It still wouldn't be bad is the point. That's why I said on the thumbnail, boring price action, but it's okay. All right, moving averages. Here you are. 100 moving average is blue. 50 moving average is yellow. 200 moving average is red. And as we see here, yesterday it looked ominous. It looked like it was going to fail the 100 in the blue and the 50 in the yellow. And what did it do? Shot right back up before it really had a chance to fail. It held the line. That's good. That's not bad. And in fact, while it did so, created a hammer candle on top of the moving averages. Now, yes, it could still fail. It could still fail. And it may take a little bit, if it does fail, to rebound. Like I just showed you on that Ichimoku cloud, it might take a minute. Let me get a drink. Now, if y'all remember, several streams back, I made lieu of the fact that it may, I said it was using XRP as an example, but I said it may sit on top of the moving averages and think about it. And this is exactly what Bitcoin is doing. It's sitting on top of the moving averages, just thinking about it, trying to figure out whether it wants to, should I stay or should I go? Y'all know the song. I'll get to them questions in a second. Hang on. But as long as it sits on top of these moving averages, I'm fine. And if it really wants to come down here and hit this 200 moving average, I'm okay with that. It might suck for short term. I get that. And alts will bleed because, hey, everybody, that's what altcoins do. It's not alt season. I've been trying to reiterate that fact for quite a while now. Probably not until November do you get any alt hardcore movements. Until then, you'll get up and sideways, maybe some down. Kind of boring stuff like we're getting. All right. Continuously over the moving averages, I'm okay with that. How about Bollinger Bands? What do we use Bollinger Bands for? We use Bollinger Bands to look for volatility. When these bands get tight together, this is usually indicative of an imminent move in one direction or the other. We can see that direction by looking at the chart and see whether we're on support or resistance, whether we're above moving averages or below them, whether we're above the cloud or below them. And we just sat and looked at all those and saw that all those look okay. The Bollinger Bands are starting to get tight. This tells me that we got a few more days of squeeze coming. As these Bollinger Bands continue to work their way in and squeeze, as they squeeze, we will see volatility come in. It can't do it long. It will build pressure and eventually pop one direction or the other. I'm inclined to believe up, as it's summer and they're going to cut rates next month likely. Because if they don't cut rates next month, they ain't cutting rates. And before you say, well, Trump told them not to cut rates. Well, he's not the president, so he doesn't get a say. All right, so simple as that. Till then, we haven't gotten to that point. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Good news is the Bollinger Bands are tightening. We will get some volatility in eventually. How about oscillators? How about our RSI? Ooh, not so great, is it? Looks like a little bit bearish. The good news is we're sitting right around our action lines at 50 and 40, right down here. So we're right in the zone where it can kind of hang out and do nothing and be okay. I know that sucks, but it's not overbought. It's not oversold. It's just normal. How about the MACD? Well, we have crossed downward. I don't like that, but we're still well over the midline here. And as you see, we do have sell pressure, but we're still over the midline. And as long as we hold that midline, I'm overall okay on this. I would just like it to improve, but it doesn't care what I want. Because I think we all know if Bitcoin goes up, it's going to drag everything with it, right? Short-term fibs. Guess what, folks? What's the name of our group? 786 Assassins. And what happened right here? Bang, bang, bang. 786 headshot. Shoo. What if I told you there are other Discords and Telegram groups out there explaining what this same area is? What if I told you they've been doing that since 2021? They've been copying us since 2021. And you can continue to try to copy us, but ain't nothing like the real thing, folks. And that's why we do what we do, okay? We keep it real here. No hopium, no bullshit. You're not going to get that from those other places. You're going to get biased information. I don't have skin in the game one way or the other. I can't make these charts move. I don't have the power to. All I can do is report them. That's why it's important to find someone who's going to shoot you straight and not tell you a lie and keep it real with you. And I just don't know any other way of doing it except keeping it real. Okay? So we got cut down to Sniper's Alley. Not great. We have started a retrace, but we seem to have stopped out on support right here, and it seems to be hanging on. Let me move those fibs and you'll be able to see that. See that support? So far, all we did was bounce it. Now, how much farther down could we go? We'll just flip the fibs in the other direction, yeah? So if I flip the fibs in this direction, looks like we did a 382 retrace so far, and that's all. I don't like this. I don't like that we didn't get back over that 236 line. Getting back over that 236 line changes things. If that happens and we get back over that 236 level, we're free to attack this 69,000, 70,000 area again. However, it ain't done that yet. So it's got some work to do yet. And honestly, we may get that over the weekend. And if we don't get that over the weekend, we'll get that more toward next week, perhaps. Wish it was different. Folks, I can't say. Like I said, I showed you the Bollinger Bands because they haven't pinched in tight enough yet, right? That's going to have to work its way into it, right? Little at a time. This is, by the way, a full-on Bitcoin analysis here from like the top to the bottom. I could go a little farther, but I'm not sure I'm going to change any of the answers. It's not going to give me any different data than I already had. Pivots. That's one thing I didn't talk about. Here's another cool thing. Pivots shift every single month. We get new ones that pop up. They're mathematically based. Not the point. I could give you a long explanation about the math. Not necessary. They give us predetermined areas of where the price may go. Okay. Where did this daily candle go that we literally just started yesterday? It came down and tagged the pivot line, which is bullish as long as we're above that line. Drop below that line, we are more bearish than bullish. Okay. However, we ain't done that. So far, we're still more bullish than bearish. We just got to hold on to that line. Now, incidentally, Ichimoku Cloud also exactly on that line. This is why I say things may get boring for a bit until it finishes itself off here and figures out what it wants to do exactly. All right, so you mean the lawsuits getting dropped didn't send the crypto to the moon? Exactly, Terry. There's a new person. Check this out, by the way. There's a new person in the XRP world, a woman who's got a name Xena, I think. And this is the new latest greatest shield who knows more than you think. It's so annoying. Oh my God. We're doing this again. We're doing this again. And the answer is yeah, we're doing it again. I'm not going to pander to it. It's so stupid. I'm just looking the other way. But yeah, so Cola says, do you only use the Ichimoku cloud on the daily time frame? Yes, you'll never see me use anything different here. Now, on other stuff, I'll drop down to the hour, right? But you're never going to see me use anything but the daily. And honestly, that's all you need is the daily. You shouldn't. Most people don't have time to use much anything else. So that's why we show it here. Use the daily. It's the simplest thing to do. Same logic can apply on all time frames. Exactly, Chief. Thank you. Daily, cool for the idea of making the chart prove it. Exactly. So how about a side by side? Here's 2020 on the left. Green line is halving. Here's 2024 on the right. Green line is halving. In 2020, we did make a very abrupt move up to the 2 fib up here. I would like to see at least the 1272 fib or the 1618 fib over here on 2024. Now, obviously, we got cut down at Sniper's Alley. This thing has basically until the end of August to the beginning of September, the whole month of August, to try to work its way up here. And things could change and it could be a different timeline. I'm just kind of giving you what I think. But working upward here toward this 1272, 1618 would still put us up into 70 to 85,000 range. I'm still hopeful of that. I don't think that's too far fetched. It's not even that much of a percentage, honestly. That's 30% up to 85,000. So 30% is still awesome. But as you know, it's just Bitcoin. It's not the biggest percent gainer ever, but I do think it's a little bit more of a sure thing. That's why I've sunk more money into it than altcoins. Just don't trust altcoins so much right now. And I backed way off on them because of that. This is still valid. It still has time to work its way out. I'm going to leave this be until it gets finished. How about a monthly look with Fibonacci retracement? This is going to be a very busy looking chart. I'm sorry. So I want you to see the key points. You can like screenshot this and zoom in if you want. But here's 2012, same fibs, same parabola, and this white arrow points to the 1272, the 1618 area. All right, 2016, same thing, fibs, parabola, same zone pointed. 2020, same fibs, same parabola, same zone pointed. 2024, same fibs, same parabola. That same zone is all the way up at about 175 for this market, for this cycle. We haven't even gotten to that point yet, obviously. And you see 2020, look, we didn't even get that big push up like we did back here where it went to the 2 or the 272, 272. We only made it to the 1.618 last cycle. So I would like to see at least the 1.618 because as you see, it's never not hit that level. I hope for a big blow off top going up here to the upper fib extensions, but I don't expect it. Okay. I'm hopeful of just that 177, 175 level, which would still be crazy good. And as you see on the monthly chart, much ado about nothing here. Everything's still fine. We're just sitting back, waiting and watching. I think we all know what's going to happen. You just want it to happen right now, like me. It ain't necessarily working that way. So, man, look, that was a full-on top-to-bottom analysis of Bitcoin. I can't give it to you any more straight than that. That was literally like everything I can pick up on. Now, obviously, we can go farther than that, and I can pull up a Gann grid. I could pull up rays. I could pull up fib circles. I think we're all just kind of beating around the same answer there, and I don't really think it's necessary to do that. We've got pretty good answers about what we think is going to happen here. If we go much farther down, I don't think we break 60 at the most. I think honestly 62 is the rough around their limit. And if that does happen, that's just going to give us an accumulation time to push up here. I think that hammer candle yesterday set a pretty decent precedent about the floor here. And we should see some movement off eventually. It's not going to happen the way we want it to, but in time. Okay, cool. So full screen really shows off that Studley haircut. Thanks a lot, Josh. Ball brothers are supposed to be sticking together. I didn't shave it today, right? putting fires out. I'm not a firefighter. So, I'm just drinking water because my stomach's still not fully healed from Montezuma. It's crazy, right? We had 101 people on, by the way. That's pretty cool. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. It costs absolutely nothing to hit the like button. And we appreciate every single person who does, okay? You don't have to pay to come watch this on YouTube. Obviously, we have a paid Discord. That's where we do all of our good work. We just come on here and teach everyone the basics. We all talk about it and work together over in the Discord. That's the beauty of it. One of the problems I've noticed through a lot of people is they lack the mindset of how to do this. And they try to do it by watching the YouTube streams. It's not as easy, right? But when you come over in the Discord, you have all these people who are working to the same goal, sharing charts, answering questions, sharing information, trying to see what they can do better together. And what that does is create an atmosphere where it's easier for you to learn and easier for you to make more money. That's the whole point of our group. Like I said, it's a free month. It's not even that much after the free month, a whole whopping $16. And what's interesting is if you didn't already sign up, you could have got it for half off. Maybe we do some other kind of special. My birthday's this month. Maybe for my birthday at the end of the month, I'll like do something stupid or something. I don't know. We gave 10 subscriptions away before I went to Mexico also. So anyway, how about we go give a look to everyone's favorite Ripple coin XRP. Ha 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 ha. Hold on. I forgot I had a laughing sound effect. I don't use it very often. So, which one do I want to look at? Let's do this one, lads. It's fair to use this one because this is the one I drew the chart out that's playing out almost exactly like we thought. So, all the hype, all the screaming and yelling, all the dumb accounts that always want to say that they know what's happening and blah, blah, blah. Oh, we're waiting for this SEC lawsuit. Oh, we're waiting for this closed door meeting. Bro, you all sound like children when you could just look at the chart and see it the easy way. We're under the trend line and we haven't broken it. And until we break that big gnarly red trend line that you see right there at the top, which is subjective a bit, I will agree, but that looks pretty darn close to me. That looks pretty darn accurate to me. It seems to be holding the line pretty well. This tells me that we're just not quite there. Now, the good news here is it still isn't terrible. Even though it hit this trend line and immediately faded and threw a terrible looking candle right here. That's a shooting star candle or an inverted hammer, which is bearish. Even though it threw that and looks ugly, there's still time for this thing to rebound. Just like we just broke down the chart on Bitcoin step by step, you can do the same thing on XRP here, and you can see that we're still okay. Cloud's still 4 out of 4. Pivots, you're still over the pivot. This is still more bullish than bearish. Moving averages, you just had a 150 moving average tits cross. That's good. That sets the floor for higher support. You're well over the 200 moving average. That's not bad. I got good news there, right? Bollinger Bands, you see them starting to tighten. They're not tight yet, but they're working on it. Most importantly here, the biggest news, this thing still hasn't broken resistance. All this resistance through here is playing hardball, and it ain't going to fall easy. Now, like I've said over and over again, I've got this drawn out of how I think it may work out. Obviously, I'm not going to be perfect on this. I'm just trying to get as close as I can, okay? If this doesn't break this red trend line, we might not get this big green push up. This actually could be, oh, I grabbed the wrong one. This could be quite simply just delayed until it gets over here somewhere. Let's do it like this. Until it gets over here somewhere in that blue box. The most important thing is this blue box over here is where all the real magic happens. This is right post-election when XRP has made its move every single cycle. Every single cycle, the same thing has happened right here in this blue box, this blue area. This is typically where we get our big breakout and our big run. We just ain't there yet. As you can see, it just quite isn't time yet. I'm sorry. There's no Judge Torres ruling. There's no anything else that's going to change that. You may get some more up here short term. I'm not saying you won't. I'm hopeful that we break this trend line and get on top of it and sit on top of the trend line and then break out. That's what I'm most hopeful for. You know, this doesn't have to be perfectly drawn like this. I'm just spitballing it here, but anything up here and then sitting on top of this trend line is primo. I want to see it break the trend line, sit on top, and then break out. Why do I say that? Like I've said time and time again, same update that I'll keep giving you. It's exactly what's happened before. This is 2020, same buy zone that I used to have highlighted over here. I've already removed it because the buy zone hit literally perfectly within 2%. You guys want to hate on me. 2% is how close we were, all right? Buy zone, breakout, sit on top of the trend line, think about it, and then crack. And as you see, this thing really started breaking out right over here in November in 2020. That was when the big snap happened, right? Cool. Maybe that's a one-off. No, it's not a one-off. Let's go all the way back to where everyone loves to look. 2016, same buy zone. Same breakout above the trend. Matriculates over. Right at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, that's when we get our crack. As you see, bottom, last chance, halfway done. Right in between the white line and the purple line is where we get our breakout. In between the white line and the purple line, that's where we get our breakout. And guess where we are now? In between our white line and our purple line, that's where we'll get our breakout. We're not there yet, but we're getting close. And until then, it's much ado about nothing. Sorry. I want to see it break the trend line. It just hasn't yet. How much farther should we pull back from here is the next question I get a lot. Well, we can pull some fibs on it and get some rough numbers. We could have already hit the max pullback here at roughly 56 cents. It broke back through that 589 number, and we're at 585 right now, so 589. But it's 0.589. Anyway, if it can't hold the line here, the next point would be 55 cents. And then all the way back down to 52 cents for like a really, really ugly retrace. Well, that's where the 200 moving average and the 50 and the 100 are. If you remember earlier, I said that we would sit on top of the moving averages. That would make the most sense for this thing to sit on top of the moving averages and then break out. That's why I drew it this way. And it's worked out really, really well so far to a pretty darn extreme accuracy level. I'm happy about it. It's not quite done yet. A little bit more time needed. I recorded this little segment here. We'll post this up on Twitter afterwards so everyone can hate on me. Fair? Fair. Remember, I'm on your team, though. Be mad if you won't, but I just want you to make the most money possible. Cool. Google Trends tells me that over 60% of people now that are here are watching because of XRP. I didn't make the rules, folks. I'm just playing by them. I don't know why everyone loves XRP so much. I get it. It's what got me into crypto, but it's also what cost me the most money. So at some point, you got to let it go. I've already sold it. You've seen on the tape. You've seen on that chart where it said sold to BTC. That's real. All right. So let me resituate my legs here because my ankle's hurting. Next up's Ethereum. I hope we had better news here, but we don't. But we don't. So, got a lot going on in this chart. Let me erase some stuff. I was really hopeful that we'd get our wick off distribution here. We didn't get it. She rolled over, failed support, immediately pushed down through support, and has now gone down to the next level of support and giving it a big touch. Now, the good news is we're still on the good side of this yellow trend line here. So until that improves, we're not getting this wick off. Simple as that. I need to see a bounce. I need to see any kind of moving average break. And the problem is they're going the wrong way. We're now failing the 200 moving average on Ethereum. This makes me want to sell it off. I think that's a bad idea, but man, it kind of worries me here that it's failing the 200. I need to see this thing rapidly turn the other direction. And if not, these other moving averages are going to keep pinching it down and pushing that price down and making Ethereum suffer. I don't want to see that happen. I want to see it hold the line, get back over the 200, get back over this 50 and 100, and work its way out of the mud here. Again, It's interesting to note that some of these things have slowed down and kind of turned into equities, which I was kind of worried about. We talked about this a lot. I didn't want the rich people fooling around with this stuff, because if they did, this is what may happen. And dang if it ain't happening. Now, I will say this is still an overall higher low. You see our low, our high, our higher low. She's barely hanging on, though. Anything more and it's going to get ugly. So not a lot of good to report here. Our oscillators, you are still in the good zone here at 41, but you want to see a bounce. MACD, not as good as Bitcoin. Look, that thing failed the midline and it's crossed over. That's not great. How about the pivots? Oh, look. Not great. Fell in the pivot line too. It kind of closed even with it yesterday, but now it's under it. I don't want to see that. I want to see it flip back over and do the right thing, Spike Lee style. But it doesn't seem too happy, does it? Tell me what y'all think over in the comments. Hey, I'm up for interpretation on what everyone else may have to say as well. One step at a time, we like to say, yeah. Looking through my list, as you see, most of this stuff is beat red over here. And there are a few that are peeking their head up and doing okay, but not a lot worth talking about. Let's look at the DXY real quick. What is DXY? Well, that's the dollar index. Dollar index gives us an idea on whether the value of money is going up or the value of money is going down. Now, obviously, it's a formulaic transition of making a chart on this. It's not only the US dollar, it's in a culmination of many assets put into a basket, but it's heavily weighted with the US dollar, like heavily weighted. So we had a pretty good bearish candle on Monday, and then Tuesday came along and bullish engulfed that bitch, and we turned right back red. Not great. Thursday. I would have preferred if this thing didn't bullish engulf, but it kind of did. Good news here. It's playing around with the 200, but I think it may fail it. I think we may get short-term. Damn, all these ads. I think we may get short-term up, and I think this thing may roll over and find a new floor down here a little bit later. Now, if it goes up, how far up would it go? In my opinion, back up here to the 50 and the 100 and kind of get trapped. And then maybe that happens where it stair steps its way over and falls. But one step at a time. Here's our Ichimoku cloud. As you see, we are way under the cloud. We have X over here, X over here, X on the baseline conversion line, and X on the candles being under the cloud. That's a whole bunch of no good on the dollar index. Any improvement here needs to be vast, not small. And the reason because is, simply put, it's lost a lot of footing here, which is good for equities. We want to see the dollar index lose steam so that our investments will go up. The problem is, if the dollar goes down, everything's more expensive. And I don't want to see that happen, but that's just kind of the way it works. When the dollar loses value, you need more dollars to buy the same amount of things. Okay, so that's AKA more expensive. Not fun, but also just the laws of the land. Most of these assets just look like dog water. I wish they didn't, but it's the truth. ICP has been one that's kind of played around with making a move and not making a move, but more so what I want you to notice here. The broken trend line with another formation of a trend line. It's exactly what XRP did back in the day in 2016. Broke the trend and then made another little mini trend with a breakout. And then when you got that breakout, that was the go sign. Now, if I put up my moving averages, you're still sitting on the 50-day moving average here. Not bad. That's better than bad. I would like to see it improve some more and not be going downward like that. I'd like to see it attack this 100 or this 200 moving average up here, but I don't get what I want. As far as the 821 EMA goes, which we haven't even discussed tonight, I've been waiting on that to kind of show you other stuff first. There you go. There's your 821 EMA. We just got a downward cross with multiple closes under. Thing is, you're over the 50-day moving average, which is right here. So if I'm over the 50, but I'm under the 821, I wouldn't sell off but half anyway. So we're stuck in a little bit of predicament where we got to wait this out. Hopefully things get better. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. We're kind of stuck in the mud just waiting. I want a lot of these to improve, but I can't do anything about it. The good news is it did have a pretty decent recovery before. It is on the right side of the trend line. And if you put it in linear, though, she just bumped her head and failed. Nonetheless, everything's still kind of waiting on the king, and we just got to kind of deal with that. What's up, Opalara? Good to see you, Opalara. So how about Bitcoin dominance? Because it's important to recognize the king when the king stands up. It looked like Bitcoin dominance was going to lose some of its grip. And then yesterday, boy, howdy, did Bitcoin let everyone know who was in charge. Throwing another big green bullish candle here. Still over the 821 EMA, still over every moving average, still fighting. It still looks like it wants to get up here to these upper levels where this blue box is. 5740 would be our mathematical ideal number. I think it may get there. I think it's going to get to at least 57% and maybe a touch more than that in time. We can't really do anything about it till it gets there, but it seems to be working its way and grinding its way up. Again, every moving average, every indicator, all kind of still pointing up. Bollinger Bands, plenty of room in between them. Pivot, well over it, looking for S1. Next support, can it flip it and make higher support? I think it will. Maybe not immediately, but I do think it will. And we haven't had a chance to get our sell-off yet. I've got it drawn out here. You'll be able to see it when I zoom out some. There you go. There's halving. Here's where I think we sell off, but we're not there yet. Now, that actually might wait till the end of the year for it to do that. We may get a short-term sell-off and then another push up. I don't know the exact details of that. I'm just kind of along for the ride. What I do know is once this fails, that's when alt season kind of starts. That's when it's more important for it to be altcoins than Bitcoin because everything will outrun Bitcoin at that point. I don't know that we're there yet, though. Shannon Peacock says, whoa, brother, you get a Rolex and all of a sudden you're clean cut and have some style and specs and background jazz? So let's run through this. Number one, the style and specs are because I'm getting old and I have to start wearing some glasses in here and my eyes hurt. All right. Number two, bought the watch because I didn't want my cash sitting in cash anymore because my accountant told me that I lost 11% by sitting in cash and not being in some sort of investment. Almost anything else would have been better to be in than cash. That sucked. So I heard him loud and clear and I said, well, I bet I won't do that again. I'll spend some of that on a nice watch. As far as the head goes, well, I'm balding rapidly. Good news is the beard still grows great. So I'm going to grow this beard out real big for the rest of the bull market. People can be mad. I don't care. Then when we get to the end of the bull market, I'll zap her off and we'll have a meetup in Miami or Vegas or something. We'll figure that out. But I do love my watch. I'm still on the market for more watches. They're just so expensive that I don't want to blow my money on all of them. I still want a Omega Speedmaster. I still want a Rolex Submariner Pepsi in Jubilee bracelet. And I still want a Rolex Daytona Panda, which is a black and white face chronograph Daytona. Well, I do not want the rubber bands. I want the oyster bracelet. That's my preference on that. There's a couple other ones that I kind of want, but those are the main ones that I want. I think the next one may end up being the Speedmaster Omega because it's the cheapest of the four I just listed, or three I listed. There's some other ones I kind of want too. Haven't gotten that point. And for what it's worth, Rolexes are about a 40 to 60% discount. And I felt like that was a good rebate and that the prices would eventually start to come back up on them. Especially because some of the ones that they're offering new, people aren't really going for. The demand didn't really quite get met like they thought it would. And for that reason, I've been doing a little bit of watch research and people are saying, hey, you know, you could buy one of the old Rolexes and probably do better than if you bought one of the new ones. So that's from kind of Rolex experts. You know, just playing the cards that I'm dealt there. Now, we don't often do this, but let's go look at some equities. I want to pull up Tesla and we'll do Coinbase next. All right, so cool enough that we actually said this on our weekly roundup that we would likely continue to see some more down here, and that Tesla would chop out at best and likely print towards the other moving averages that were down below it. And what do we see happening? Darn near exactly that. She's printing back towards the moving averages that were down below. Green box that I drew right there, I said roughly 208 to 200. We're sitting at 216 right now. I think it may need a couple, 3-4 more days, or maybe even 2 weeks to work its way down there. But I don't see it falling much more below that. I do think it'll catch support there and likely bounce. What time will that be? Well, we ain't quite there on the time yet. I can pull some fib time zones here and try to give a kind of a deeper look into it. How about a fib time zone? I pull it like that, and I put it in linear mode just to look around here and kind of get a gross observation of a yay or nay. Looks like we could bounce in October. Now that might hold strong and might actually bounce before then and fail in October. I don't know. But these fib time zones are the whole month of October and the beginning of November. So may get a situation where we bounce, come up lower, and it just chops. And then we get to November, we get our big run. December, we get another big push, something like that. In time, we get there. I don't think we go too far away from 200 though. I think that's going to be the rough mean of where it slows down, has a break, and kind of thinks about it and potentially finds itself a new floor. Yeah, same thing we're thinking, Shannon. At the beginning, you kind of missed that there at the beginning, but even some down and sideways here is okay. That's kind of why I made the thumbnail what I made it. We can withstand all the way down to 62. As long as we kind of hold between 60 and 62, everything should kind of be kosher for the most part. How about Coinbase? This has been a bit of a tracker to look at Coinbase and say, oh, okay, that's probably what's going to happen. These fib time zones played out nearly exactly like we thought. You had your chop, you had your run up through your fib time zone extensions here, and this shows us that the 15th of August might actually be where we do our nice bounce. If we put moving averages up there, you see you failed the 50 and the 100. Not bueno. And we have a big fib line down here that we haven't quite gotten to just yet. We can erase these fib time zones. A big fib line down there at roughly 200, just like Tesla. Looks like where Coinbase is angling for. All the oscillators are pointing down. You're sitting on S1. S2 is down here below, so chop out right there wouldn't be the end of the world. Ichimoku Cloud, it's a no. That's pretty simple. Yeah, a lot of other stuff just continues to kind of point downwards and sideways. Not a whole lot to do right there. Yeah, 50 fibs at roughly 200. That's that fib line I was talking about. Good news is, if you missed your buy on this, you're kind of getting another shot at it. If I put this in log mode, not linear, you'll see that we're up here flirting around with Sniper's Alley, and a failure from too far away from here heads us back to 182, but we do have support that it's kind of digging in on the backside. See that? We're kind of digging in through that, and as long as we sit on top of it, that's okay. Worst case Ontario 182, but again, that's only about 5% away from 200. Not that much different. Fair enough. So I'm kind of getting to here is even these levels that could be bad aren't horrible. They're okay. Just, might have to wait it out a little bit, but that's all right. And if you were looking for a chance to get into Coinbase, you might get it, right? Might get your opportunity. We kind of also were thinking that maybe Coinbase would front run Bitcoin a little bit because, now Ethereum too, because the ETF money gets stored over in Coinbase. And, Coinbase stock would be affluently affected well because of that. So far, as you see the chart, this is still nice and bullish, doing pretty darn well. USDT. We don't talk about stablecoins very much anymore because we've kind of started a more bullish sentiment than bearish. But let me erase some of this stuff. We had a big downtrend here on USDT, and it did break it. And what I thought would hold on support here is kind of holding out. Dug through it at first down in March, but now it's kind of bounced back and holding firm here through support. If I go down to the daily, size it up here for you. So sitting over top of the 50 and the 200, the 100 and the 200, working to try to break the 50, but that candle yesterday was ugly. Look at that. Nice shooting star there. So I'm hopeful that we're getting a lower high here and we're getting a bit of a head and shoulders. It's ugly and kind of distorted, but it's there. More so I like the high and the lower high. This could drag us down to another lower low, which is great because we want stable coins to be in a downtrend. Why do we want stable coins to be in a downtrend, everyone? Because that means that people are selling their stable coins and buying assets, which means they go up more. The more money in, the better. That's pretty simple to understand. So, man, we said a lot on the stream, didn't we? That was a lot of talking. I hate talking. I hate hearing myself talk. Anybody else hate hearing themselves talk? I get so annoyed by hearing myself talk. I bought Brian a Rolex Hulk Submariner. We talk a little bit about them over in the Discord. But I did mention the other ones that I want to buy. What else? I think that's it. I think we got 2 minutes left. I think we spent our time very well this stream. I want people to hang in there and not be discouraged. If you can afford to buy more, right? That's up on you. I'm not a financial advisor. Just do what you want to with yourself. I don't really put money in the market. If I make a couple extra dollars on side money or whatever, I try to, but I'm not dropping thousands and thousands of dollars from my checking or my savings over into crypto now. I've already got plenty in crypto. I don't want to add any more. I feel like I've got more than I need, to be honest with you. More than most people by far. And that's not a brag. That's just to say I've got more than I need. I don't need to spend more. I can probably just stop and pump the brakes and be happy with what I've got for the most part. I started this journey with $6,000. You guys all know that. It was actually less than that, but that's where I started the quote unquote bull run last time, was with 6,000. And that got me all the way to where we are now, right? So thank you, Ruben, for coming, bro. I appreciate you being on here. I want everyone to stick with what you got. Don't be discouraged. I want you to work on your mindset. If you feel like it, wop.com/team786. That's us. Come hang out with us in the Discord. We do this every single day, all day, 24/7. There's someone posting charts. Thank you all for being here. As I say all the time, you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that more than y'all realize. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. Things could always be worse. Smile a little bit, folks. And last but not least, no one else told you today. Please remember, Keith loves you. Thank y'all. I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Sky's the limit. Zoom time in the Discord. Peace.